What happens when human ambition rises higher than obedience? What unfolds when pride begins to speak louder than purpose? In the earliest days after the flood, the world shared a single language and a united voice. Humanity moved together, settled together, and dreamed together. But unity without humility can quietly turn into rebellion. Scripture tells us, "Now the whole earth had one language and one speech." Genesis chapter 11, verse 1. With one voice they said to one another, "Come, let us build ourselves a city, and a tower whose top is in the heavens, and let us make a name for ourselves." Genesis chapter 11, verse 4. These were not words of worship. They were words shaped by self-glory. The tower was more than bricks and mortar. It was a monument to human pride, a declaration of independence from God's authority. The builders believed height could replace holiness, and achievement could replace obedience. But the story does not end with human plans reaching the sky. Scripture reveals, "But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the sons of men had built." Genesis chapter 11, verse 5. In that moment, heaven responded. Languages were confused, unity was fractured, and the dream of human supremacy was scattered across the earth. The Tower of Babel stands as a powerful reminder. When people seek to elevate themselves above God, the foundation beneath them cannot stand. The Tower of Babel stands among the most widely recognized accounts in Scripture, often mentioned alongside Solomon's temple. It centers on an ambitious structure humanity attempted to raise toward the heavens. The builders carried enormous aspirations, yet their plan unraveled when God opposed what they were doing. What prompted divine intervention? And what truly became of the tower itself? Let's walk through the events and examine how everything unfolded. Following the Great Flood, the sons of Noah and their wives began spreading across the earth. From their lineage arose a powerful figure, a man of authority and strength, described as a mighty leader and a formidable hunter before the Lord. His name was Nimrod. He was Noah's great-grandson through Ham and Ham's son, Cush. The early foundations of his dominion included Babel, located in the land of Shinar. At that time, humanity spoke with a single shared language. As people migrated eastward, they came upon a broad plain in the land of Shinar and settled there. In that place, a unified population formed a bold plan. They set out to construct a massive city and a towering structure that would rise toward the sky. Their aim was to secure renown for themselves and ensure they would remain united rather than being scattered across the earth. God, however, opposed their intentions. He disrupted their speech, causing their language to fragment. Communication broke down, cooperation collapsed, and the people dispersed in different directions. With unity gone, strong symbol of opposition to God. The question remains, why did God halt the construction? Many have understood this account as humanity attempting to challenge divine authority. The builders are often portrayed as driven by pride and resistance to God's command to spread across the earth. Genesis chapter 1 verse 28 instructs humanity to fill the earth, and their actions ran counter to that directive. Genesis chapter 11 verse 4 records their motivation clearly. Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we will be scattered over the face of the whole earth. To make a name in the ancient world meant establishing lasting honor and recognition. Throughout the Old Testament, God is frequently described as making his own name great, and at times granting that distinction to individuals such as Abram or David. In this light, seeking a name was not automatically viewed as evil. Within the text, however, humanity assumes that role for itself. When compared with other ancient writings, the pursuit of lasting honor was often celebrated. This raises deeper questions about motive, authority, and where the boundary lies between ambition and defiance. In the ancient world, honor was earned through admirable deeds and lasting accomplishments. One of the most respected ways to secure a name was through children, because future generations would remember and speak it with respect. From a modern lens, this can sound self-focused, yet in that era, it functioned as continuity, a way to remain present beyond one's lifetime. The wish to remain together, rather than spread apart, would not have been viewed as a flaw either. Genesis chapter 1 verse 28 is framed as a blessing rather than a directive. A blessing cannot be violated because it is not an order, even though the grammar appears imperative. In Hebrew usage, imperatives carry a range of meanings, and here the sense leans toward authorization, the freedom to fill the earth without restriction. When Genesis chapter 11 describes people resisting separation, it does not suggest a refusal to populate the world. Their posture resembles that of an extended household choosing unity over distance. A similar tension appears with Abram and Lot in Genesis chapter 13. In Genesis chapter 11, the hesitation to disperse leads them to search for stability, and they arrive at city building as the answer. Once we recognize that legacy building and togetherness were normal and accepted values, the focus of this account begins to shift. When the account of the Tower of Babel is reduced to a lesson about arrogance or rebellion, something essential is overlooked about God and humanity's connection with him. Viewing the scene through an ancient cultural lens reshapes our understanding. The tower followed the pattern of a ziggurat. Ziggurats were never intended as stairways for people to climb into heaven. They were constructed as platforms for a deity to descend to earth. These structures formed the heart of temple complexes, set beside sanctuaries as sacred zones for divine presence. They were designed for divine arrival, not human ascent. The tower functioned as a ceremonial gateway through which a god would enter the temple and receive devotion. In Genesis chapter 11, God is described as coming down to the center of this structure, yet his response is displeasure. The builders were likely not acting out of vanity. In their minds, they may have believed they were honoring God by preparing a place for his presence and worship. The question then becomes why God rejected it. And since such towers are no longer constructed, what relevance does this account hold now? To answer that, another feature of these structures must be considered. In the ancient mindset, gods were thought to depend on humans for necessities such as food, shelter, and care. Worship revolved around meeting divine needs. Belief systems were less concerned with ethics or inner faith and more focused on service. People assumed that if they supplied what the gods required, protection and prosperity would follow. If the gods were satisfied, cities would flourish. This explains why the people of Genesis chapter 11 believed that building a city with its tower would secure renown, They assumed it would place the divine in their debt, resulting in success and recognition. The core issue was not their desire to be remembered. It was the attempt to leverage their relationship with God to elevate themselves. That tension still resonates when sacred spaces are built or large religious projects are pursued today. Motivation matters. Are such efforts centered on honoring God or on enhancing reputation? When God refuses their attempt to make him visible on their own terms, the narrative pivots to his next action, a promise given to Abram. What stands out is that this promise does not arise from meeting divine requirements. God offers Abram things that other deities promised in the ancient world, including a renowned name, yet the framework is entirely different. There is no exchange of services. A new pattern of relationship is introduced. Some readers treat Genesis chapter 1 verse 11 as a sequence of failures, but scholar John H. Walton suggests these passages portray humanity experimenting with ways to establish order, seeking godlike status, forming families, founding cities, or pursuing divine approval. Yet each attempt falls short. Humanity was formed to work in partnership with God, but repeatedly chose independence. Genesis chapter 1 verse 11 records these unsuccessful efforts to impose order in a way that parallels how Ecclesiastes later portrays the search for meaning. The introduction of covenant becomes the turning point, presenting the only stable path to order. This thread runs from Genesis chapter 1 to 11 through Genesis chapter 12 to 50, showing how repeated human breakdowns reveal the need for a covenant grounded in God's initiative rather than reciprocal obligation. At the heart of the problem is self-interest, the belief that something can be gained by managing God's favor. Even more significant is the pattern that emerges whenever people attempt to structure life according to their own systems for personal benefit. It consistently collapses. True order comes from God alone and flows out of a rightly aligned relationship with Him. He has always been the source and center of order, and that reality remains constant. Reading the Tower of Babel within its ancient setting reveals that the issue reaches beyond arrogance or defiance. It exposes the attempt to secure divine favor for self-advancement. It highlights the futility of pursuing success or recognition through human effort while sidelining God. God's desire has always been closeness, presence, and relationship. The focus shifts away from self-glory toward alignment with His purposes. That alignment involves placing relationship first, seeking guidance, and acknowledging that fulfillment emerges from walking in step with Him. It means allowing God to occupy the central place in life and trusting His intentions, recognizing that a transactional approach to devotion, giving in order to get, was never the design. Our faith must never be shaped by the pursuit of personal benefit, whether tied to this lifetime or what lies beyond it. It should rise from a deeper awareness that God alone is worthy of our loyalty, devotion, and obedience in every area of existence. We are continually confronted with the truth that God lacks nothing from us. No offering, no attention, no prayer, no praise, no act of service, no companionship. The reality is clear. We are the ones indebted to Him, not the reverse. Our commitment should grow from an understanding of who He is, not from anticipation of what He might provide. Devotion grounded in expectancy is fragile, but devotion grounded in reverence is enduring. When we recognize His unmatched worth, our faith is no longer transactional. It becomes a response to His nature and authority. Human civilization and culture have the power to shape our lives in profound ways. They can introduce systems that promote stability, order, and progress. Yet they can just as easily generate turmoil, pressure, and disarray. Structure can quickly turn into constraint, and advancement can give way to unrest. For this reason, they cannot be trusted as the ultimate source of harmony or meaning. Lasting peace and true alignment are found in embracing the teachings and life pattern of Jesus Christ. This path calls for releasing our weight, our resistance, and our struggles into His care, rather than insisting that life unfold according to our personal demands. Order and rest are discovered by accepting His yoke, walking under His direction, and placing confidence in His purpose and design for our lives. The story of the Tower of Babel stands as a timeless reflection on unity, ambition, and humility. It reminds us that human achievement, when driven by pride rather than purpose, can lead to division instead of greatness. Language, once a single thread binding humanity together, became many, reshaping the world forever. Yet within that division came growth, movement, and the spread of people across the earth, fulfilling a greater design. This story continues to speak today, urging us to examine how we communicate, how we pursue progress, and where we place our trust. Are we building to elevate ourselves or to serve something greater? If this story moved you, share your thoughts in the comments and tell us what lesson you learned from the Tower of Babel. Like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful Bible stories that inspire reflection, faith, and understanding.